Hello and welcome to another lesson from the IELTS coach. In today's lesson, we're going to focus on listening for different sounds. And the sounds that we have today are B and V, or B and V. So when we have a listening test and you're not sure which letter to choose, this lesson will help you to make that decision. And even though this is listening practice, it is about improving your score in the listening exam. Knowing the difference between these two sounds or letters is not just about listening. Sometimes I can't hear the difference. If someone is speaking and I can't see them, I can't hear the difference between B and V. Very. It's very difficult to hear. But I know because of other reasons, because of spelling or because of the context. If they're talking about fruit, then maybe they mean berry. But if they're not talking about fruit, it's probably very. But we'll look at that. We'll look at how to know which letter to choose in some common situations. But first of all, you need to learn the pronunciation of it. So that way, if you see somebody, you know what they're saying, but it also helps in the listening as well. So we can see here with B or B. If they spell a word and they use the letter B, it will be with the B, lips together, B, B, B. We can hear that soft sound, B, B. Now, if it's V, 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 we can hear that vibration, V, V. And your teeth, top teeth are on your bottom lip when you say V, V, B, B, V, V. In listening, it can be difficult to hear the difference. But you also need to learn the spelling of common names and places. That way you know which letter is appropriate. So if we look here at some examples, which one is correct? Every or every? This is obvious. The second one is not a word. It does not exist in English. It will never be correct. So you know, now you know. Oh, I'm not sure which way to spell. Now you know it. Okay, every, it's a very common word. The next one, very much or very much. Very is a word, much is a word, very is a word. Which ones are used together? We don't say very much. Some people with poor pronunciation or some mistakes might say that, but the meaning or the spelling should be the very much. The next one, avenue or avenue. This is about knowing the vocabulary. If you don't know this word, then it will be difficult to know the spelling. But the correct answer is avenue, street, road, avenue. It's okay, it's a type of street. You need to know it. It's about expanding vocabulary and knowing what's possible. Avenue is impossible. It does not exist. So you know it has to be the V. And the last little practice we have here, a very common one, you should know which one is correct. Even if they spell and you hear the letter V, when you write that down, you know that's wrong. You know it's not October, but I hear V, I hear October. Is that a word in English? No, it's not. Don't write it down as an answer. If you don't know the word that you're writing, it's probably not a word. Okay, or it's going to be difficult and you make a mistake anyway. But most of the time, IELTS listening answers are things like October that you should know how to spell. They're not complicated, complex words that you won't know. So be aware that if you don't know the word when you write it down, it's probably going to be wrong. Maybe one or two in a full 40 question test might be like that if you have limited vocabulary. But most of the time it will be common words that you should know and you should be aware. Now, don't just focus on the sound. Think of spelling and letter combinations. So sometimes B and V can't be put in certain combinations. So let's look at 3 examples here, and you get to choose which one you think is the correct answer. So let's look at those. My sister's name is... Now, in this case, it's a name. Everything is possible with a name. But your job is to think which is the most common name. Which is more likely, Vanessa or Vanessa? They are both possible. 99% of the time, Vanessa is more common. So unless they're really specific and clear that it's the letter B, then I would choose V, Vanessa. And he went to the, obviously this has to be bank. If it is bank, you have to explain to me what a bank is. What is it? Because it doesn't exist. Bank. Oh, but I heard bank. It's not possible. It's not just what you hear. It's what is possible. Can you go to a bank? Yes, that's probably the answer. Can you go to a bank? No, that's not the answer. Not just listening. Don't trust your listening. You do make listening mistakes. Even if you hear bank, okay, I heard bank, but maybe that's wrong because it's not possible. Open up to other possibilities. And the last one there, again, both of these are possible. VN372 or BN372. This is where, even for me, I would not know what they're saying. Oh, that could be V or B. So I wouldn't just trust the listening, I would trust the context. So look at the question. The question is Vietnam Airlines. Vietnam. I know VN is a shortened version of Vietnam. Okay, when they do airlines. So it's likely it's going to be that. Okay, if it's BA372, that might be for British Airways. B. So look at the context. Don't just trust your listening. Try to listen carefully, look at the logic, look at what is possible, look at spelling that you already know, not just about listening. Even if you heard BN, think about which one is more likely. If I heard BN in this case, I would still write V because it's more logical. And that's how flight numbers work. That's not just listening, that's applying logic to the questions. So here I'll put up 6 more choices. So you have to make the choice not based on listening. Okay, I'm not going to say the sounds, based on logic, based on common spelling, based on what is possible, based on what is more likely. So have a look at those 6 and make your choice. Then I will put the answers up. So we can see there, number 1, visit, because visit is not a word. Number 2, Robert is a very common name. Robert or Robert might be, but very unlikely. Number 3, overnight is not a word. It must be the overnight. And you know that. Number 4, again, if you know places and cities, Berlin is a city in Germany. Berlin is not a place that I'm aware of. There might be a small town with that name. Number 5, we've done before with very good or very good. It's poor pronunciation if it's berry. And number 6, again, what is possible? Oh, I don't know olive oil. I've never seen olive oil. Well, you know olive and you know oil. Those are 2 words that are possible. Do you know olive? I don't know olive. I've never seen or heard of it. I don't think that's possible. So I would choose olive oil. So it's not just about listening, it's about your knowledge, it's about your vocabulary, it's about logic, being aware of what is possible. So the more vocabulary you learn, you should be learning the spelling and learning what can be applied in these situations. So yes, even for me, hearing the difference between B or V, B or V can be difficult, but spelling rules and logic and knowledge help me to make the correct choice when writing the word. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any other letters that you have difficulty hearing or knowing the difference between, let me know in the comments and I'll try to make some comparison videos like this. But thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.